welcome to Sarah Football Extra. My name is Raphael Banaman Kuwati, and as you might be well aware of, KUMASI Asante Kotoko's management and board hasn't dissolved. By no means a person who said to the life patron of the club. He has taken back his club from Dr. Kwame. He was actually appointed as the board chairman of the side, and in turn, Nana Yamponsa was also appointed as the management member or the management chairman. In the course of this week, these two persons and their respective members cease to have any affinity with the club. So in this particular episode, we seek to analyze and review the performances of the management and the board in the last 3 years. That was their mandate by Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. So we start with the positives. And you look at KUMASI Asante Kotoko under the management and the board. In their very first year, they were not able to win the league trophy. On the back of that, any serious club will put in a lot of foundations. And the foundations, you look at them putting in the structural, the technical, the tactical. The fact that KUMASI Asante Kotoko needed sponsorship, the management and the board made sure that they were able to make sure that they got some bit of sponsorship for the side. You look at their second season, they won the most coveted Ghana Premier League from their arch rivals, Accra Hearts of Oak. And in that season, it actually helped them to set a record. That was their 25th league trophy in Ghana. 25th league trophy in Ghana. It's unprecedented for a side to actually win the Ghana Premier League for 25 times. So KUMASI Asante Kotoko in the second season of Dr. Kwame as well as Nana Yamponsa, they were able to win. That is the Ghana Premier League. Moving forward, that was the height of 2019-2020 where the COVID was at the center stage. We only had 25% patronage at the stadiums, but they actually brought an innovation where they named it as the Virtual Seats Challenge. And in the Virtual Seat Challenge, they were able to garner a lot of finances because people that were unable to make it to the stadium, in their own small way, they had to support the club. And that was when the introduction of the Virtual Seats Challenge actually took center stage. A host of their, that is, as you would put it, their circles, with Kotoko, they name it as circles. Their circles were able to contribute meaningfully to the development of the club. So financially, the club was in let me say a very good structure when it comes to their finances because the supporters were contributing their quota to the development of the club. We'll move forward and look at other areas where they also did very well. That was the Adakojachi project. And when you listen to Nana Yamponsa under several interviews, he remarked that if he had that is $100 from each supporter, he was going to be able to build a stadium, if you call it, for that is the side. A club that was built about 8 decades ago, they didn't have anything they could call their own. You look at clubs like Gold Stars, who have the dance park here, look like a club like Karela United, they have the Crosby Ewa Memorial Park. You look at newly promoted sites in Samatex, they had the St. Sports Complex to boast as their own. Indiana Stars had, that is the Nana Ajman Bedu, the second park. But with KUMASI Asante Kotoko, they didn't have anything to bolster or boost their egos with. But that is, Nana Yamponsa said he would be able to do them the honors. So that is when the Adakujachi project actually came into the picture. And you will see that the Adakujachi project, they had 2 pitches for the side to training, and you have some sort of relaxation area for the club, that is the players and the technical bench to also relax. So you look at how these things were faring, it was like, the guy had vision for the side. So the Adakojachi project, that is, he able to rally supporters for the Virtual Seats Challenge to put the club in a very sound financial. He spoke volumes of the vision he had for the club. And in their second season, they also won the that is the Ghana Premier League. So let's move to the negatives. I mean, with everybody that takes leadership positions, you would expect that, I mean, at some point, you would have some infighting here and there, you have some altercations here and there, you would have some murmuring here and there, some pulling down syndrome here and there. And Nana Ponsa, and that is Dr. Kwame Chase, their tenor was not left out of something like that. I mean, there were purported arguments of the fact that these two, they didn't really see eye to eye. And when you come to the supporters union too, they had infractions. There were some group that belonged to Nana Ponsa. There were some group also that belonged to Dr. Kwame. And there were even purported arguments that Nana Ponsa was doing things that he didn't consult the board. I mean, you look at the sacking of Maxwell Kunedu in his first season, the second sacking of Prosper Ogunete in the second season. I mean, there were a lot of issues that he didn't consult board when he was about to sack, that is Prosper Ogunete. So this was some sort of blemish to that is their terrain or their tenor in charge of KUMASI Asante Kotoko. But it goes without saying that he promised that he was going to take Kotoko to the elite, to the CAF Champions League. But I mean, anybody that knows KUMASI Asante Kotoko will attest to the fact that in their 2 seasons that they qualified to the CAF Champions League, I mean, they were unable to make it past the group stages. They were in the qualifying series. One, they lost to Al Hilal of Sudan. In the second one, that is the CAF Confederations Cup, they lost to RC Kadiego of Burkina Faso. And with the Kadiego match, that is where eventually they appointed Burkinabe trainer Chedu Zebu, and he was actually let go at some point where he sadly lost his son in mid-season. Abdul Ghazali took over the reins of KUMASI Asante Kotoko, but eventually he wasn't able to take them to the promised land. They lost their trophy. They were not able to reclaim their trophy from last season. They lost to Mediama FC from Takwa. They actually won it for the very first time. So KUMASI Asante Kotoko under Dr. Kwame and Nana Ponsa, it wasn't all dark and gloom. I mean, they had their positive sides, they had their negative sides, but that is what I've enumerated. I mean, in their second season, they made sure they won the Ghana Premier League. But on the back of that, they actually signed a plethora of players, the likes of Justice Blay, Rashid Notie from Mediama FC, Richard Boidu. Very, very important signings in Nicholas Teleku, and as well as Rocky Dramina. I mean, he also did well to come into the side. So you look at most of the sides that they signed, I mean, it speaks volumes of the vision that they actually wanted to set to the side. But eventually, I mean, with any other leadership position that people attain, I mean, there were infractions here and there and all those things. But that is what will draw the curtains down. But we are picking stories that Kwesi Appiah might be appointed as the coach of the side, or maybe the technical director of KUMASI Asante Kotoko, as well as Freddie Achie Champon. He might actually be appointed as the CEO of the side, or maybe somebody like Samuel Sekufo might be appointed as the CEO. You know, actually before Nana Ponsa took over the reins of KUMASI Asante Kotoko, Samuel Sekufo was in line to take over as the president or the CEO of KUMASI Asante Kotoko. But Otunfo thought it wise to give it to Nana Ponsa. He has served his mandate with KUMASI Asante Kotoko. 3 years is gone. Dr. Kwame 3 years is gone. But whoever takes over the reins of KUMASI Asante Kotoko, hopefully, you'll be able to continue with the projects that the former management and board started with, and take KUMASI Asante Kotoko to the heights that they would expect, to rub shoulders with the likes of Al Ali of that is Egypt, Zamalek of Egypt, and a host of teams that are doing well in the CAF Champions League and also the CAF Confederations Cup. So on the back of that, that is where we end and draw today's curtains of today's episode. My name is Rafael Banaman Kwoti. If you haven't subscribed to the button as yet, please do so, subscribe to the button. Keep up alive with sports.